Okay, so what was it you wanted to work on?
Well, I've got this inadequacy feeling about speaking, about expressing myself correctly, about talking altogether, because I was never allowed to talk.
Okay, and do you have a specific memory? Come back here. What are you scooting away from? Even though I don't want to be near Jenny. No. Do you have a specific memory where you felt that? Or
Well,
you had that?
as a child, we were never, we were not allowed to talk or say anything,
right?
Or need anything or want anything.
Okay, and do you have a specific time when you remember that? Just if there was lots of them.
Maybe, yeah, heaps of them.
Okay, let's just start with that. Even though,
as
a child,
we
weren't allowed to speak up.
We weren't allowed to speak up
and express ourselves.
Yeah.
We had to be silent. Seen and not heard.
That's right, seen and not heard.
And there were so many times that happened. There were so many times.
There was so many times when that happened.
And I can't just pick one.
I cannot pick one in particular.
Maybe I can just allow one to pop up.
Yes, maybe I can just allow one to pop up, and one just popped up.
Okay.
I'm about 10.
Yep. All right. So, just tune into that 10-year-old feeling.
Yeah, I am with my sisters, with visiting friends, and we are sitting on the sofa. We're not allowed to move. We're not allowed to ask for anything. But even when we are asked, we're supposed to say no. So when the lady asked us if we wanted an orange juice or a drink, we had to say no.
Okay. Yeah. And so that's
cookies. No cookies. We have to say no to everything.
Okay, so that's very much that cliche seen and not be heard, isn't it?
Yeah.
But what's the underlying core belief, do you think, underneath all that? That you're not allowed to speak, you're not even allowed to have oranges or cookies, you just have to say no. How does a 10-year-old feel? What's the underlying core belief she would have created from that?
I don't deserve anything.
I don't deserve anything. I don't matter.
I don't matter, yeah. Whatever I say is not important.
I'm not important.
Yeah. What I say is stupid.
What I say is stupid. I'm not important. I don't matter. Which one resonates more?
What I say doesn't matter.
What I say doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Even though I've got this core underlying belief. What I say doesn't matter.
What I say doesn't matter.
No wonder I have trouble speaking.
No wonder I have trouble speaking.
And I've got many incidences. Especially this 10-year-old one. When I remember sitting on the couch with my sisters. And we weren't allowed to say anything.
We were not allowed to say anything.
And if we were asked, we had to say no thank you. I accept myself. Deeply and completely. This 10-year-old memory. Sitting on the couch. With my sisters. Not allowed to say anything. And even when we were asked. If we want an orange or cookies. We were to say no. Even if we wanted them.
Even when we wanted them, of course.
We wanted them.
Yeah.
We had to say no.
We had to say no.
So, even when you wanted something, you couldn't say that you wanted them.
Yeah.
What does that feel like in your body? I really want that orange juice and cookies.
I really wanted that orange juice and cookies.
And I'm not allowed to have it.
I'm not allowed to have it.
I have to say no.
I had to say no.
Where do you feel that in your body?
In my stomach.
I've got this feeling in my stomach. I really want that orange juice and cookies.
I really wanted that orange juice and cookies.
But I had to say no.
I had to say no.
What I say doesn't matter.
What I say doesn't matter.
I accept myself. Deeply and completely.
Deeply and completely.
What I say doesn't matter.
What I say doesn't matter.
I can remember that in my 10-year-old memory,
I can remember that in my 10-year-old memory,
in so many memories,
in so many memories,
but particularly sitting on that couch
but particularly sitting on that couch
with my sisters
with my sisters
when we were asked if we wanted orange juice and cookies.
when we were asked if we wanted oranges and cookies.
And I can still feel that feeling in my stomach.
And I still can feel that feeling in my stomach.
I really wanted to say yes,
I really wanted to say yes.
and I had to say no.
I had to say no.
I had to say no.
I had to say no, yeah.
What I say doesn't matter.
What I say, what I want or what I need doesn't matter.
What I need doesn't matter.
Yeah,
Yeah.
what
See
I
how
need
that's
doesn't
clarifying now?
Mm.
What I need doesn't matter.
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 I can't say what I need.
I cannot say what I need.
I can't say what I need.
I cannot say what I need. They're not interested.
They're not interested.
They're not interested.
And I feel it in my stomach.
And I feel that I must not.
I'm not allowed to say what I want.
I'm not allowed to say what I want.
I'll get into trouble if I say what I want.
And I get into trouble if I say what I want. Yeah.
I'm not allowed to say what I want.
I'm not allowed to say what I want.
Even when I want orange juice and cookies.
Even when I want oranges and cookies.
I have to say no
I
thanks.
have to say no, thank you.
Okay. So, that feeling that you're not allowed to say what you want,
I'm not allowed to ask for what
I'm not
I
allowed
want.
to ask for what I want. Do you remember having that in any other younger memories? I'm not allowed to ask for what I want. What I want doesn't matter.
My childhood is littered with it. We were never allowed to ask for anything. We had to wait until mom and dad would ask us, and then if they asked us, then we could say that nobody else.
Okay. Even though
Even though
it was up to my parents
it was up to my parents
to
decide-
ask us and
to
decide
decide
what our needs were,
what our needs were,
what our wants were.
what our wants were.
We weren't allowed to have wants for ourselves.
We weren't allowed to have wants for ourselves yet.
I accept myself
I accept myself
deeply and completely.
deeply and completely.
Even though
Even though
there was many instances
there were thousands of instances
where my needs weren't met.
where my needs weren't met.
I wasn't allowed to want for things.
I wasn't allowed to want.
I wasn't allowed to ask for
I
things.
wasn't allowed to ask for things.
And if other people asked, we had to say no.
And if other people asked, we had to say no.
It was up to my parents to decide what we wanted.
Yeah, it was up to my parents to decide what we wanted, especially my father.
Especially my father. I accept myself deeply and completely.
I accept myself deeply and completely.
I'm not allowed to want things.
I'm not allowed to want things.
And if I want something, I can't ask for it.
And if I want something, I cannot ask for it.
It's out of my control.
It's out of my control.
It's only in my parents' control,
It's only in my parents' control,
especially my father.
especially my father.
How do I know what I want?
How do I know what I want?
My parents always decided for me.
Yeah, my parents always decided for me.
I'm not allowed to want what I want.
I'm not allowed to want what I want.
I'm not allowed to ask what I want.
I'm not allowed to ask for what I want.
My father decides that.
My father decided that.
I don't matter.
It don't matter.
What I want doesn't matter.
What I want doesn't matter.
I can't ask for what I want.
I cannot ask for what I want.
I feel that in my stomach.
I feel that in my stomach. It's actually gone.
When was the first time you felt that? When your father decided what you want?
That's the first instance I was
You can
mentioning
remember.
earlier.
Okay, so that's gone out of your stomach. So how does that feel now when you think of that core belief? So come back to the karate chop point, that core belief. So it started with public speaking, but we didn't really go to that.
No,
We went
actually, yeah. What happened, because of that, I was never able to ask. So I always feel inadequate in speaking.
Because you never had practice at that.
Because I did.
Because Dad always did
Yeah.
that for you.
We
Your
were
father
always
did that
yeah,
for you. Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So
even though my father always asked
my father always asked
for my needs on my behalf,
for my needs on my behalf,
I was never able to ask for myself.
I was never able to ask for myself.
I was never allowed to ask for myself.
I was never allowed to ask for myself.
No wonder I feel inadequate to speak up for what I want.
No wonder I feel inadequate to speak up for what I want.
I just haven't practiced it.
I haven't practiced it.
And I wasn't allowed.
And I wasn't allowed.
And I might have even got into trouble for speaking up for what I wanted.
And I did get into a lot of trouble when I spoke up for what I wanted.
No wonder I'm scared.
No wonder I'm scared.
Yeah, that feeling
That
of
feeling,
getting into trouble.
getting into trouble.
I got into a lot of trouble
I got into a lot of trouble
for speaking up for what I wanted.
for speaking up for what I wanted.
So do you remember a time when you got into a lot of trouble?
Countless times.
All those times.
In all those times,
I got into a lot of
I got
trouble
into a lot of trouble.
speaking up for what I want.
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 I got into a lot of trouble.
I got into a lot of trouble.
No wonder I'm scared to speak up for what I want. No wonder.
No wonder I'm scared to speak up for what I want.
What if I get in trouble?
What if I get into trouble?
My body's protecting me.
My body's protecting me.
My body's making me feel inadequate.
My body's making me feel inadequate.
So I won't speak up and get into trouble.
So I won't speak up and get into trouble.
But I'm not that little girl anymore.
But I'm not that little girl anymore.
And my dad doesn't have control over me now.
And my dad doesn't have control over me now.
It might be safe to ask for what I want.
It might be safe to ask for what I want.
And I might even be adequate at it.
May even be adequate. I'm taking Toastmasters lessons.
I'm even going to Toastmasters.
I'm even going to Toastmasters.
And it might even be fun speaking for what I want.
It's not that much fun, but it's difficult.
But maybe I don't get into trouble.
But then maybe I don't get into trouble.
My dad's not there now.
Yeah, thank goodness Dad is not here.
Maybe I can release that little girl's fear
I can release that little girl's fear, yeah.
that's still trapped inside
That's
me.
still trapped inside, yeah.
And let her know
And let her know.
it's safe now.
It's safe now.
Letting her know it's safe to speak up.
Letting her know that it's safe to speak up.
And she can be more than adequate.
And she can be more than adequate.
Speaking up for her needs
Speaking up for her needs
and her wants.
and her wants.
It's safe for her to speak up.
It's safe for her to speak up.
Letting her know it's safe now.
Letting her know it's safe now.
She's safe to speak up.
She's safe to speak up.
She might even enjoy it.
She might even enjoy it. Yeah.
Imagining having parents that encourage her to speak up.
Imagining the parents encouraging her to speak up.
I wonder what that would feel like.
I wonder what that would feel like. Yeah.
Able to ask for orange juice and cookies
Able to ask for oranges and cookies
and feel safe.
and feel safe.
How does that feel? How does that feel, being a little 10-year-old sitting on the couch and it's safe to speak up and say, yes, I'd love to have orange juice and cookies, thank you.
Yeah, that would have been very civilized.
It would have. Would have been very civilised.
Yes.
How does that feel now when you imagine being 10 and having that feeling of it's safe to speak up and say, I'd love to have some orange juice and cookies?
Yeah, that feels really good, yeah.
And when you imagine yourself at Toastmasters now, how does that feel?
It's challenging because I'm really pushing the envelope, you know, like I'm really, yeah. Also because of the language, of course.
Yes,
Yeah.
but what about when you think about that little girl sitting on the couch and she's able to speak up for herself, it's safe,
Yeah, I've come a long way.
and bring that feeling that it's safe to speak up. I'm more than adequate and I can speak up, I don't get into trouble now.
Yeah.
And
I
bring
feel
that
really
feeling.
good and
What colour is around that?
yellow came to mind.
Okay, and if you bring that yellow to you at Toastmasters, how does that feel?
It feels good. It feels light. and clear.
Mm-hmm. That's what yellow does. Yellow angel is like that colour yellow clears away confusion
Oh yeah.
and fear. Because if you've got fear, because what if I speak up and get into trouble, you can't think clearly. So it clears that fear away, so the blood goes back into your frontal cortex so you can think clearly. It clears away confusion and fear. And it lightens everything up. And it lightens it in the stomach area, which is where you were feeling it.
Yeah.
So when you look at that underlying core belief, I can't ask for what I want, or I don't matter, how does that feel now?
Oh, now it feels alright, because I've done quite a bit of work on that along the years. But every so often I feel something in the pit of my stomach, like it kind of raise its little head, saying, oops, I'm still a bit here,
Yep.
Yeah.
So every time that happens, try and tune into it and find another incident or memory that relates to that, because obviously that's the tabletop.
Yeah.
And we want to get all the incidences from all the legs. So that was one of the main incidences that you could remember at the time.
Yeah.
But once we've cleared that and you work on it again, another incident might come up because that one's out of the way now.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Do you get that?
Yeah. I can see it's layers upon layers because
Yeah.
I've been working on it for a long time.
Yeah, but go to the specific memories. So like we did, that was just a specific leg.
One thing, yeah.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Good, thank you.
Thank you.